Right, these are some songs that we've been doing for the past couple years, and we've been getting a lot of requests from our fans to release those as B-sides. So we ended up making this into an EP to kind of keep people busy until our next record, Antichrist Superstar, comes out sometime next year. I was always into the lyrics to that song, and I thought maybe other people weren't maybe getting the same interpretation that I was, and I wanted to redo the song where you could really focus on what was being said, as I thought it was a dark song, and I liked the idea of use and abuse, how it was being discussed in that, so I wanted to kind of share that with a newer crowd of listeners. It's got a bit of a theme running through it. It started off, of course, with Dope Hat, which was the single that we were focusing on, and dealing with the use and abuse that's talked about in that song, and then with Sweet Dreams, and there's a few other tracks. We were living in New Orleans at the time, and different subjects that played a big part in our lives for those 4 months, ranging from drugs to sex and whatever's in between. We just kind of wanted to express what we went through during that period, and this music is kind of a little diary of those 4 months. And it may seem kind of chaotic, but that's exactly how our lifestyles were, before we left on this tour. So if it doesn't make sense, that's because our lives didn't make too much sense at the time. Well, there's a few. I kind of want to keep it more up to the listener to figure it out, but one of the tracks that we recorded in our apartment in New Orleans, White Trash, features vocals and guitar playing by a guy named Tony Wiggins, and this was he's a strange fellow we met last year on our travels. He's a southern gentleman with southern ideals, so he tends to be what a lot of people would consider a redneck or white trash, so I thought it was ironic to get him to do a cover of that song. And we ran into some trouble with some of the things that he's done, because he's tried to, harm certain people in our organization, and he gets into a lot of trouble. So it's mainly because of him our EP was delayed. So he's a dangerous character. He's a good friend of ours. Well, Trent worked mostly on the 3 cover songs, and we wanted to just bring out the strong points of the songs, and I thought a lot of the strong points in them were the lyrics, and that's why I picked, those 3. I Put a Spell on You was always a favorite song of mine, and a lot of the people that I've been influenced by have covered that song. Arthur Brown covered it, Creedence Clearwater Revival, Diamanda Galas, and something that wasn't really expressed on Portrait were some of the feelings that were put across in Sweet Dreams and I Put a Spell on You, and it deals with a different part of my personality, dealing with love and those types of emotions. And I thought I Put a Spell on You was a great song to express that, because it's very obsessive, and it's to me it's like one of the original satanic rock songs that a lot of people would overlook, So I really like that song. The Patti Smith song, Rock and Roll Nigger, that we picked, I think that's a song that we've always liked and always wanted to do. We wanted to do that for Natural Born Killers soundtrack, but they ended up, they used the original. Well, I'm glad, because we saved this for our thing, but that's a song that is almost like an anthem for our generation and our fans, because it's about being an individual and being the people not accepting you for who you are and what you like and what you look like and things like that. And I think it's important to demystify words like nigger, because it's something that if you're a white person and you say that, then people consider you a racist. But it's not what the song's about. That was the intention of the song, and I think it's that song is what punk rock and things like that were all about when they were invented. They were about pissing people off, and I think that's an important part of music that's being forgotten today.
Yeah, but I wouldn't really consider it vocals. It's just sort of a love ballad about somebody that died.
That was a lot of people first heard that #1 smash when we were on the Donahue show, and he played that on his mini cassette recorder that is one of his instruments that he performs with.
I want to know why it is that all of you seem to have satanic signs all over you, and what is it that does this music cause you to do what you do?
Is that directed at us or the parents?
That's funny. Twiggy. That's your little
does the
tape
music
recorder?
cause us
Okay.
to do what we do? We cause the music to do what it does, I think.
And people wanted to know what the song was, so we put it on the EP. But it was a little number that he came up with, and we just decided to stick on it.
Yeah, Scabs, Guns, and Peanut Butter. White Trash is
Well, it's acoustic too. That's
that's what I wondered.
Scabs, Guns, and Peanut Butter is that real short one. That's
Yeah. Oh, okay. I thought. See, I was getting confused. I thought you might have thought that was me singing. That's what I was. Because I never really thought of this.
You know what? Also on the credits,
I just recorded on
the record company fucked up.
Did
They
that?
misprinted a lot of shit. They got that one right, but they fucked up a lot of the other ones. Much like Family Trip at the beginning of Portrait of an American Family, the scene from Willy Wonka where they're on the boat ride, we took that and put it to use for the Dope Hat video, and we made a visual reenactment of that. And it's we were looking to create the irony of a children's show, being a band that parents would consider very dangerous for children. We thought it would be ironic to make our video look like a children's show, much like H.R. Puffin-Stuff or something like that when we grew up. So that was the approach that we went into with that video, and it's more of a drugged out psychedelic version of the original Willy Wonka boat ride. Not with the law just yet. When we were in Los Angeles, Tony Wiggins showed up, and he got us into a lot of trouble. We ended up carving a big star on his chest with a broken beer bottle, and he was bleeding all over the place, so everyone got mad at him. Just last week, or 2 weeks ago, we were in Wichita, Kansas, and someone threw a live chicken on stage, which was interesting. And then most recently in Pittsburgh, I had got a cut on my chest, and I was bleeding on stage, and some of the bouncers were mad that they had gotten some blood or something on them, so they wanted to murder me after the show, but I escaped. We plan on recording that at the beginning of the year, so it'll be in 1996. We'd love to have something out on June 6th, 1996. Don't stand too close to the stage. I'd also like to make a little request for anyone that might show up tonight. There's a track on our EP if you have that, and it's I can't say it on the air, but it refers to a gentleman by the name of Frankie.
Excuse me.
Yeah?
Are you Frankie, the manager of Marilyn Manson?
Road manager, yeah.
You want to tell us a little bit about Frankie?
No comment.
It's not. So it's something that you're not proud of, or just something you don't want to talk about?
I don't know anything about it, really.
Have you ever?
No comment.
All right. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what it's like on the road with Marilyn Manson?
Take a good look at my eyes. It tells it all.
I see a lot of objects in your eyes.
Pain.
Frustration.
I'd like the crowd to participate in a chant involved around that track for tonight. That'd be